Hello and welcome to the weather update tonight. Long Island weather updates, January 4, 2024. And wow, I hope you got a chance to see the sky before sunset because it was incredible. I was at Southern's Lake and it was really, we had some really beautiful clouds. We had clouds around in the morning, then they broke for a little bit, and this was actually part of the actual cold front that was coming through. We actually, absolutely amazing, beautiful clouds here. The way the sun was hitting them was really beautiful, as you see here. Absolutely amazing to see. It was a little earlier, but when we got towards sunset, man, the colors really just, I mean, look at how red that is and orange. It was spectacular. And earlier on, we had, again, some of these I guess these are stratocumulus clouds here. And actually we had, when I left, when it was out in the afternoon, around 2:30, we had this kind of cloud come over us, which actually had a couple of raindrops falling from it. I actually saw I think I saw a few snow pellets mixed in too. So it was pretty interesting. A little taste of what might be to come. We're going to be talking about that all tonight. And just beautiful colors this dusk here. Yeah, again, that's Southern's Lake area. Absolutely beautiful. In the night, we got windy, breezy conditions with starry skies. So let's go to what we got going on. Obviously, we've got a winter storm watch to our north. You can see that. Nothing for us. And it's 32 degrees at Central Park right now. So let's look at our satellite image. And first of all, we'll do that. So let's go to we'll do maybe 60 frames here. Yeah, this is good. So you get a chance here. And you can see nothing much going on right now, but you can see I already see high clouds already. These may stream in on our area even tomorrow, perhaps, from that storm. So let's go ahead and look at that right now. Let's go to the CONUS view here so we can take a look at what is going to become the weekend storm. It's right here right now, and it actually gave Arizona some nice snowfalls, and now it is moving east. Flagstaff really got some snow. And now they got a beautiful winter scene there. But will we get to see any of that? That is the question, obviously. You see fairly clear skies here, but we'll have to watch again to see if those high clouds wind up going over us. But a big area of clear skies over the southeastern part of the country. Let's now go and look at what's going on across the country. And you can see we got the winter weather advisories, some winter storm warnings, some in the mountains there. And you can see this winter storm watch all the way for the inland areas. And like I said, people will be getting a lot of snow from this storm. It's just not going to be us. So at least I don't think it's going to be. We're going to look at the models and see. 30 degrees right now at Islip. So we generally got temperatures around 30 degrees here. Dew point has dropped at 12. We got a north-northwest wind at 16, gusting to 24 miles an hour. Looking at today, you can see earlier on we were well into the mid-40s. But then this evening when that front came through, it kind of dropped. And you can see the dew points were up into the 20s, and then they dropped into the teens. And that's your colder air moving into the area right now. So let's take a look at our highs and lows for the day. Our highs were in the mid-40s, pretty much mid-40s everywhere. And the lows, fairly uniform around 30 degrees. Not much radiational cooling last night because of the cloud cover. So let's take a look at our climate statistics for the day. And Islip right now, high of 45, normal high is 40. That's 5 degrees above normal. The low of 36 was 10 degrees above normal. That puts us 8 degrees above normal for the day. Central Park, 45 degrees, and that is 5 degrees above normal. The low of 39 was 10 degrees above normal, making it 7 degrees above normal for the day at Central Park. Tomorrow will certainly not be above normal. So some good news, I guess you could say. Let's again go over this briefing again here. Again, the interior portions are where you could see 6 to 8 inches likely, 12 inches worst case scenario, wet snow type, snowfall rates of an inch an hour, upper 20s to low 30s. And along and just north of the I-95 in the lower Hudson Valley, northeast New Jersey, and coastal Connecticut, they're saying 3 to 7 inches likely. Again, this is north and west of the city, up to 10 reasonable worst case. New York City, New Jersey metro area of Long Island, total rainfall so it's going to be rain 1 to 1.5 inches, localized minor urban poor drainage flooding, and snowfall 1 inch or less likely. 2 to 3 inches reasonable worst case. This would be our area, wet snow type. So maybe we still might see a little bit of snow. And some of the models seem to look a little more impressive on the back edge of the storm, which we're going to look at. At least that's what I saw earlier. And of course, we're going to also see shoreline impacts and minor coastal flooding with the storm, though I think the second storm is going to be worse with this. This is their map, as you see. Barely anything. Point 0.3 for Long Island right now. So that's the rain snow line challenge here. So let's go and look at our weather map right now, and you see high pressure building in. Here's your storm. And let's look at the models now. So first we're going to talk about the storm first, and then we'll talk about the weather the next couple of days. I'll just show you the storm track again and what the models have been doing with it. So you can see that high there building in there. Give us another sunny day tomorrow, and then the clouds kind of come in Saturday, and then it is later. And let's zoom it into the northeast now. It is later Saturday night to Sunday that we're going to have this storm coming in, and you can see that it looks it looks like it's mostly rain. But look at the back edge. Look at what it does on the back edge here. There could be a thump of snow at the back of this, and maybe, just maybe, we can eke out some accumulating snowfall for at least Suffolk County. Please. All right? All I could say. I miss seeing the snow, all right? I really do. Because after this, it's going to be rain, all right? We're going to have rain, and then I don't know when the next chance of snow could be. But there you go. It looks like it's having a little bit of a thump on the back end of it. And that is, this is the GFS at 18Z that's doing this. And then it departs, and then we have another sunny day on Monday, which we're not going to get into right now. We're mainly talking about the storm. But that looks like a good thump there. And like I said, that's still one model. All right, let's go to the European model next. All right. Unfortunately, the European model, we don't have the P-type on this. But you'll see here that the low does wrap up it does wrap up. And like I said, toward the tail end, if we could push that 340 line, you can see it's to the south and we still have precipitation over us. Maybe we might get a little bit of an accumulation there from that. You can see the precip chances linger. And, of course, if it's cold with that 540 line well to the south, Sunday, I think I'm pretty confident any of the precipitation on Sunday is going to be in the form of snow. So that will be good, and hopefully put an end to the snow drought, because the snow drought we've had over, I don't know, when was the last time it snowed in Central Park? Let's talk about the last time it snowed in Central Park. Let's talk. It snowed in NYC. The last time Central Park saw more than an inch of snow in a day was on February 13th, 2022. That's right, folks. So almost 2 years, as you see there. So, yeah, that's how long it's been, which is a definite record. We obliterated the old record for sure. So, yeah. The storm looks like it winds up a little bit. All right, so that'll help a little bit generate some precipitation. This is the European. So now let's look at some of those shorter range models. And the NAM, I believe we'll have the NAM that'll take us out here. And this was the NAM. All right, so here's your NAM. All right, and this is the NAM. You can see it actually has some snow just to the north, starting as snow. It's very hard to predict exactly what's going to happen. I think let's see if it's got the back end thump. It does have a little bit of a back end thump on it right there. You see it? Sunday night. So that could give us some accumulating snowfall at the tail end of this, which is good because then the rain is done, so we can enjoy the snow for at least one day before it gets washed away later Tuesday. Let's just see how much this is putting out here on this model here, and you can see not a whole lot. But look at that. They see that the North Shore might wind up getting, the North Shore in New York City might wind up getting a little more. I'm not ready to put a snowfall map out yet. I'm going to do that tomorrow night when I see more models. But, I'm a little more optimistic. Unfortunately, if you're in Tom's River, I don't think you're going to see anything. Ocean County, I'm sorry. But maybe parts of Long Island will actually have some snow on the ground in the Pine Barrens, perhaps. We haven't had snow in the ground almost 2 years in the Pine Barrens. All right, that's crazy. All right, and that's part of the reason why our lakes are drying up. So let's go and look at another model here. Let's go and look at the GFS again, and I want to go back to the GFS here and change this a little bit here. Yeah, let's look at the radar output here. This is the radar output, all right? So you see there's the rain. See, it's got mostly rain there. But look at the back end. Look at the back end. It's got a nice little thump there, snow over Suffolk County. Look at that. So Suffolk County might actually wind up getting a snowfall out of this. And that would be awesome if we can get that to happen. Whether it will actually happen or not, we'll have to see. But definitely this run is definitely a little more encouraging because the low winds up, look, it's 990. So it's getting stronger. And as the low gets stronger, it pulls down more of that cold air. You get the dynamic cooling, and you can get some snowfall out of it, which would really be lovely. I would love that. So we'll have to see what happens with that. It's too early to tell right now what's going to happen with that. And I don't think the FV3, which is the high res, let's see if that's going to take us far enough out here. So this is the high res GFS. You can see the heavy rain, and then, yeah, it's not going to take us far enough out. So we can't really use that, but there will be heavy rain. And the rain moves in. Now, this is a little faster now. It's bringing in some light precipitation Saturday night. But I think the main heavier precipitation occurs later Saturday night into Sunday, for sure. And then we got to talk about liquid equivalents, too. So let me go back to the NAM for that, and we'll talk about our actual total accumulated precip that we're going to see from this storm here. And you'll see, well, you will see 1 to 1.5 inches of liquid equivalent. That's what the Weather Service was saying right now. So encouraging, for sure, encouraging. Another thing I want to look at here, FGen. Let's take a look at the FGen here. Ooh, there's some really good FGen here. Look at this. That's going to be some heavy precipitation Saturday night. It looks like right around maybe 11 o'clock or so, 10, 11 o'clock. There's going to be, look at that. Look at that. That's some pretty hefty FGen. And if it was just a little colder, maybe some of that could be in the form of snow. The temperatures are so borderline right now with that. They really are. But that's a lot of FGen right there. All right, that we got. So this is going to be, you've got a lot of energy here in this spot right here. So we'll have to see. Either way, the precipitation is going to be heavy. That's for sure. And for those that are in the colder area, you could get a really nice burst of some heavy snow with that. Yeah, let's look at the, let's go back to the HRRR now. So we're going to go to the HRRR, of course. We'll have the 0Z run in for this. We will go ahead and look at the HRRR now. Obviously, nothing going on tomorrow. Here's Saturday, and you'll see it starts at actually a little earlier in the afternoon, light precipitation. Then as you get toward the later in the evening, rain, but it could mix with some snow. Perhaps it could wind up mixing with a little bit of snow with this. And again, we don't have the full HRRR. That's why I'm not looking at the HRRR, right? For this. So let's look at our dew points and wind flow. Obviously, we've got the northerly flow that will be with us tomorrow, northwesterly flow. You'll see the core of the cold air, though, stays in Maine. Now, if that core came straight down, we would definitely probably be looking at a much bigger snowstorm, but unfortunately, it's not doing that. And then for Saturday, you'll see here, here comes the surge of the warmer air, and here's your reflection of the storm. Easterly winds. That's not a good wind for snow, especially because the water temperatures aren't all that cool. If we look at the water temperatures, let's go to earthnullschool.net here. And I could also look at some buoys, but I'd rather just use the satellite here so we can visualize this better. SSTA. Oh, yeah. Still above normal. Way above normal. You have way above normal over here, and then offshore sea surface temperature of 48 degrees it's showing. That's not, it's well above what that's not that cool at all. So if we were to look at the SSTs, and I'll get the latest ones tomorrow, we do the weather update. That's with an east wind, that's not really favorable for snow at the start. All right. Temperatures, air temperatures. Let's go look at that. Obviously tonight we're dropping into the 20s. Tomorrow we'll make it into the mid to upper 30s. Tomorrow night, clouds roll in, so it's probably going to put a lid on the radiational cooling, and no radiational cooling tonight with the breezes, so I don't think we'll see any radiational cooling. And then here we are for Saturday. Temperatures are in the mid to upper 30s again. And again, we have that rain that will be moving in. It's that light rain that will be moving in. So, and then getting heavier toward the precipitation will be getting heavier toward the evening. Let's go to the GFS and the dew points and wind flow on this. So here's your dew points and wind flow on this. You can see the problem. The cold air just retreats. That's the problem. So here's tomorrow, and you can see again the core of that cold air is just going to be over New England. It's not going to be over us. And then here we go, east winds, and then watch the winds flow change though as the storm starts moving. Here we got a flow out of the north. Dew point is still 32, but it could be just cold enough to get that precipitation in the form of snow, and then it pulls away, and then we get into another cold air mass for Monday. Though it really doesn't look all that cold for Monday. They say the dew points are only in the 30s. That's not that low at all. So yeah, this is not that low at all. So let's look at our temperatures, and here we go for our temperatures. So as we go into Saturday, you'll see, and again, there's that a lot of warm air getting entrenched in the storm. So that's what makes it unfavorable for the coast, and it's still sort of above freezing here. So it's very borderline temperatures here that we're going to have, and then for Monday, we're back around 40 again. So let's go to the let's go to this thing here, 700 to 300 relative humidity. So we're going to look again at the moisture levels that we have coming in. So you can see the moisture there. Some decent moisture there. So it pulls down, it wraps it around a little bit on Sunday a little bit. So that favors things. And then Monday we're in the drier air there. All right. So yeah, that looks like it's sort of complicated, I guess you could say. That's why I'm not putting any forecasts out for numbers or anything like that. So actually, I want to go back to the HRRR. Let's go back there, 0Z, and we'll just look at a few soundings that we can look at. I don't think it's gonna. We'll take a sounding for tomorrow just to take a look and see. It looks like those lines are pretty far apart. For tomorrow, at least 16Z. So I guess we'll talk about the skies tomorrow and see if we go to the RGM for us for that. So here's the skies for tomorrow. It shows like a little bit of cirrus around in the morning, and then it kind of dissipates. It kind of dissipates, and then we have clearing skies by the later in the early morning. By 9-10 o'clock, it should be mostly sunny. And then we're mostly sunny. So we do see the cirrus rolling in, but there could still be some radiational cooling, perhaps, the potential for it. We'll have to see how the sky turns out tomorrow night. And then for Saturday, obviously, we'll have the clouds rolling in. The other model we can look at also is the RGM. Now, we usually use it for clouds. We can also use it for the storm. So let's go ahead and look see what the RGM has for us. And again, yeah, it's got mostly that rain, heavy rain, and then doesn't really have much of a thump of snow at the end at all, unfortunately for us. All the snow would be well to the north, all the heavier snow. So you can see the models still don't agree. They still don't agree. So that is the challenge that we have right now. Though it looks pretty heavy, and if we look at the liquid equivalent on the rain, total amount of rainfall, again, a little more toward 1.5. It's closer to 2 inches on this RGM, which is always the potential. Total snowfall, you can see it's all to the north, just barely anything for us. See, it's all to the north. So let's go back to let's go to the NAM 3. This is the NAM 3. Look at the NAM 3. It actually has an area of heavier snowfall right on the north shore there. Whether that's actually going to happen or not, I don't know. But it's all. Let's go to the NAM 3 here. Look at the radar presentation here again. You can see it's got the heavier snow. Yeah, the NAM's got that little cold bias there, but if that line was just a little further south, we could see a little more from it. We'll have to see. This doesn't go as far out, obviously. Does not go as far out. So let's go to the GFS and do some soundings for tomorrow, I guess. We can do that. Let's see. It looks like a decent air day for a clear day, but I don't know. I see that cirrus in the satellite. You can definitely see it over New Jersey. All right, but let's move this to Saturday. So, yeah, it's not great. It's not a great air column to have. You can see that rain there. So close, but you see it gives a cool down at the end there. It might just be convective feedback. We don't know. It's really hard to tell at this point. But, it's more than likely might not happen, but we'll have to see. There's always the potential that it could wrap around like that. There is always the potential for that. And I'll go to the skies on the GFS too, so we can take a look at that too. So here, again, you can see that little bit of cirrus that might, but then the rest of the day are obviously Saturday and Sunday. We're not going to see the sun all weekend. Then Monday, we'd hopefully see the sun again. But let me look at a few more models here. And I don't like using this site, but because not everything is free here. I think the only one I could use, let's see if I can regional, local. Yep. Yeah, that's the problem. Can't use it. That's why I hate Pivotal. They charge. That's why I use Tropical Tidbits. So yeah, they charge for the regional outlook. So that's why I don't use Pivotal. I know their maps that maybe look a little more prettier, but anyway, we do have a few more sites I want to go ahead and look at. So we're going to talk now about the winds with this storm as well. So let's go to that. All right, Saturday night. Yeah, you can see we got wind gusts. Yeah, along the shore, it's pretty high. Inland, not too bad, but again, look at the 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts for Saturday night. So this is the other factor we're going to have, and especially as the night goes on, the winds are going to get worse. Let's move this to Sunday morning. So here's Sunday morning. It won't be an LLJ with this storm because you got an east wind, but here's the issue is that you got the east wind off those warmer waters, and that's the problem. It was more of a northeast component. You'd have a better chance at snow. So, but I think I think the best chance for snow is going to be toward the tail end of the storm on Long Island. At least that's the way it looks like on Long Island right now. And then as you see, we visualize the winds as we go more to noon. You can see northerly, much better. That's bringing colder air, all right? And that will definitely help for the cause of getting some snowfall. We'll also look at the waves here on this too. You can see there's definitely some high surf. It won't be anything too crazy. It looks like the Cape will get it worse than we will because the storm will be stronger as it makes its way east. You can also look at this snow cover map as well. This forecast snow cover map as well. And this uses the icon, by the way. So, see, it's got nothing for us. Nothing. It's all inland. So, this does not look good for us. If this were to verify this particular model, let's see if we can use the GFS here. Yeah, GFS looks a little bit better. Let's see. But even with that dump, you see that dump, it might wind up not sticking or being rain. So, just because, you might have convective feedback issues, it's just, see, it doesn't really show much of anything here. So this is the issue. This is a little better of a high-resolution map for you. So that is, you can see that not really showing a whole lot there. So, yeah, unfortunately, it's if you're inland, boy, you're gonna get a decent amount, but still, it's not even showing that much. It's going to be very wet snow. Like I said, the cold air is retreating, and that's the problem with this. So that's what makes it a challenge, and that's why. I got my hopes up, but now looking at this, I don't know. It's really hard to tell at this point in time, and that's why I'm not going to put a map out yet. And I really don't think Long Island's going to see all that much. We do get anything. Even if there is a good thump at the end, maybe a couple of inches with the thump, but that's the absolutely best case scenario. More than likely, we might not see anything. And New York City might not see anything, and the snow drought very well may continue if they can't get it above an inch. Because if you look at this, it says 0.2 inch right there on the GFS, and the icon is even worse. As you see, even worse. Let's go to windy.com now and look at the European model. And see what the European has for us. And this is the higher resolution European. So we can also look at the impact of the storm on the ocean as well with this site, which you can see this is looking a little more worse. 10-foot wave. This is looking worse. The other site uses the icon, 13 foot. So maybe a little more of a worse influence here along the ocean with this. Definitely be some, some impacts to the beaches for sure, but it won't be as crazy as we have to come with that second storm, which I'm not even going to talk about in this update. But if we look at the sea temperature, you'll see the problem that we have here. Sea temperature is, yeah, that's warm water, my friends. And that is not going to help with an east wind trying to get snow. So let's now go and talk about the wind. Last time, look at the wind gusts. See what the European is putting out for wind gusts with this. It looks like the worst of it is going to stay out over along the coastal areas. 4 a.m. Sunday, we've got some wind gusts approaching 50, perhaps on the east end. For the rest of the island, 41. Some isolated, scattered power outages are possible, but I don't think it'll be that bad of an impact. Yeah, look at that. Out over the water, it's pretty high, though. So those little islands there in the Cape are probably going to get it pretty bad with the winds. But the rest of us, was that an eye? Is that showing an eye? Really? Really? All right, so I think we're getting close to wrapping things up here. The last thing we'll look at is the snowfall. So we go to precipitation. We find precipitation here. Rain. New snow. So this is next 3 days. This is the European model. And the European model, wow, look at that. It's putting a lot more down. But I don't see how it's going to do that with that east wind unless it's putting it down at the end. Unless it's putting it down at the end. I just don't see it. Rain accumulation. Wow, it's much less on the rain accumulation for whatever reason. I just don't see how it's going to do it because, again, if we look at the winds, it's going to have to do it on the back end. Well, the winds are a little different on the European. It's got a little more of a northerly component on the winds, which is interesting. Very interesting. Let's go and take a look at the European again on Tropical Tidbits. Let's go ahead and look at the European and see where it has the storm. It's 4070. It's a little bit northwest of the 4070. So it's just a little bit. But whatever the case is, the Euro, I don't know why the Euro is doing that on the output. That's why I don't look at those output totals, because in this case, because of the marginal temperatures, I think a lot of them are overdoing. I don't think we'll see that much at all. So we'll know more tomorrow. So that's going to wrap up this Long Island weather update as we get ready for the storm this weekend. But either way, whether it's snow or rain, and I don't think it's going to be that much snow, it's going to be a heavy event again. So moisture-laden event for sure. So enjoy the sunshine tomorrow, and have a good night.